The sun was setting on the edge of Vera 9, a quiet farming colony far from the busy core planets. Red light touched the golden fields, and the wind carried the soft hum of harvest machines. Most people were finishing their work and heading home to meal. A young mechanic drove his old Rover down the dusty road. He had just fixed a broken tractor for a neighbor. His small home was still 30 minutes away. As he drove, he looked around at the quiet land, enjoying the peaceful evening. Suddenly, he saw something strange in the distance. A person, no, a woman was running down the side road. Her white dress was torn, her hair loose, and her feet bare. She looked tired, like she had been running for a long time. Tomil slowed the Rover and blinked, unsure if he was seeing correctly. The woman waved her hands. "Please stop," she cried. Her voice was full of fear. Tomil hit the brakes. Dust rose around the Rover. He jumped out and ran toward her. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "I'm fine, but I need help." "Please," she said, trying to catch her breath. "He's chasing me. He'll find me." Tomil looked around. There was no one behind her, but something about her face told him this was real. She was not acting. Her eyes were wide, scared, and serious. "Get in," he said. He opened the Rover door for her. She climbed in, holding the sides of her dress together. Her hands were shaking. Tomil quickly started the engine and drove off the road, taking a side path through the crops. "My name is Tomil," he said, trying to stay calm. "I'm Mira," she replied, still breathing hard. "Thank you. You just saved my life." "Who is chasing you?" Tomil asked. She looked at him and stayed silent for a few seconds. Then she said, "His name is Rexus. He's rich, powerful, and dangerous. I was going to be his bride." "But not by choice." Tomil looked surprised. "You ran from a wedding?" Mira nodded. "It wasn't a real wedding. It was a contract, a trap. I worked for him on his research station. He offered money and promises. But when I found out the truth, he said I had no choice. I had to marry him or disappear." Tomil didn't know what to say. This was more than he expected. He looked at Mira again. Her dress was dirty, her knees bruised, but her eyes were clear and full of strength. "Why here? Why Vera 9? He asked. "I escaped his ship and took a cargo pod. It dropped near your fields. I ran as soon as I landed." Tomil kept driving until he reached a small hill covered in tall grass. From there, his home was hidden behind trees. He stopped the Rover. "You can stay at my place," he said. "It's not big, but it's quiet. No patrol drones fly out here." Mira gave him a small, tired smile. "Thank you. I just need time. And maybe clean water." At his house, Tomil gave her a towel and clean clothes, old, but better than what she had. She went into the small bathroom. When she came out, she looked a little better. Her long hair was tied back, and her feet were bandaged. Tomil made warm soup. They sat across from each other at the small table. "I don't understand," he said. "You worked for him?" "I'm a biologist," Mira said. "I studied rare elements. On his station, I found a strange energy source. It could change how ships move in space. But he was using it for something else, something wrong." She paused. "I copied the data," he found out. "That's when he locked me in a room and said I would belong to him forever. I escaped." That night, Tomil felt a chill. "So you have something he wants?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, and if he finds me, he'll take it." "And me?" Outside, the night had grown dark. The stars were bright above the fields. Far in the distance, a patrol drone flew by, blinking red. "I don't want trouble," Tomil said. "But I don't turn away people in danger. You can stay here. Just until you decide what to do." Mira looked out the window, then back at him. "You're kind, Tomil. I didn't expect kindness." Tomil gave a small smile. "Most people here are just trying to live simple lives. We don't have much, but we don't hurt others." That night, Mira slept in the guest room. Tomil stayed up late, thinking. A runaway bride from space. A powerful man chasing her. Secret data. It sounded like a story from an old space serial, but this was real. And tomorrow, it might become dangerous. He looked out the window once more. The stars were peaceful. But somewhere out there, Rexus was searching. And now Tomil had a choice to make. The next morning on Vera 9, the sun rose slowly, lighting up the quiet farmland. Birds flew low across the golden fields. Tomil stood on his porch, sipping a cup of hot tea. His mind was heavy with thoughts from the night before. Inside the small house, Mira was still asleep. She had come to him like a storm, barefoot, in a torn wedding dress, running from a powerful man named Rexus. Tomil didn't know what future this would bring, but he knew one thing. Mira needed help. Soon, the door creaked open. Mira stepped out, wearing the old clothes Tomil had given her. Her hair was tied back neatly, and her face looked calmer, though the worry hadn't left her eyes. "Good morning," she said softly. "Morning," Tomil replied. "Sleep okay?" "Better than I have in days," she said. "Thank you." Tomil nodded. "We should talk. I want to know what's really going on. No secrets." Mira sat down beside him on the porch. The sky was clear. Far off, a cargo drone passed quietly above the fields. She took a breath. "You already know I worked for Rexus, but I didn't tell you everything." Tomil waited, listening carefully. "I was part of a research team," she continued. "We were studying a rare mineral called vorolite. It reacts with gravity. If used correctly, it could create small jump fields like mini wormholes." Tomil blinked. "That sounds like something only big science labs can do." "It is," Mira said. "But Rexus had private funding. No rules, no questions. At first, we thought we were helping science. But after months of testing, I found something strange. He wasn't trying to improve travel. He wanted to break the law of space paths. He was building his own secret network outside of human control." Tomil frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means he could send ships anywhere without being tracked. He could move weapons, people, even armies, without the council knowing. He would control space itself." Tomil stood up, shocked. "That's not just greedy, that's dangerous," Mira nodded. "I tried to stop it. I copied his private files. That's when he caught me. He said I had to marry him and live on his station forever. I was going to be locked away just so he could control me." Tomil looked at her with quiet respect. She had risked her life to escape. "And the files? You still have them?" "Yes," Mira said. She lifted her left sleeve and showed him a small glowing line on her arm. "I hid them inside a microchip under my skin. It's encoded. Only I can open it." Tomil stared at the chip. "So that's why he's hunting you." She nodded. "He'll search every planet if he has to." Suddenly, a loud beeping sound came from inside the house. Tomil rushed in. His old security pad was flashing red. He tapped the screen. "A scanner drone just passed over the east field," he said. "Not a farming drone, this one's private. Fast. High-level tech." Mira's face turned pale. "He's found this sector." Tomil quickly locked the doors and windows. "We don't have long. If he tracks the signal from the chip, they'll come straight here." "Can we block it?" Mira asked. Tomil thought. "Maybe. I have old parts from a jammer I fixed last year. If we build a shield cage around you, it might block the signal for a while." They rushed to his workshop, a small metal shed filled with tools and broken machines. Tomil grabbed wires, coils, and an old power core. Mira helped, her hands steady. She may have been a scientist, but she worked like someone used to solving problems under pressure. After an hour of work, they built a makeshift signal cage. Mira stepped inside. Tomil turned it on. The lights blinked, and then the pad stopped. "Flashing. It's working," he said. The chip is invisible for now. Myra sat down on a metal chair inside the cage. How long will it last? Maybe a day, Tamil said. After that, they'll come looking. Myra looked at him. Why are you helping me, Tamil? You don't know me. This could destroy your life. Tamil sat on a nearby crate. I don't like bullies. And I've seen rich people take what? They want too many times. You didn't ask for this. You stood up to him. That matters. Myra smiled softly. Most people would have turned me in. Tamil looked at her seriously. I'm not most people. For a moment, the small workshop was quiet, but outside, trouble was growing. Rexus's people had already entered Vera 9's orbit. Hidden ships floated above the clouds. And one of his men, dressed like a merchant, walked through the colony. Town asking questions. Back at the house, Tamil turned on his shortwave radio. Static buzzed. Then a coded message came through. To all citizens, be advised. Private scouts have permission to search local areas. Please report any outsiders. Tamil turned off the radio. They're here, he said. Myra stood up. We need to leave soon. Tamil agreed. But not without a plan. We need a way off. This planet. Do you know anyone who could help? Myra thought. Maybe. A pilot named Rhea. She used to work with Rexus before she left. She hates him now. If she's still flying, she might take us. Where does she dock? Tamil asked. Outer Port Dustside Station. 2 hours away by rover. Tamil looked at the sky. They had less than a day before the jammer stopped working. He nodded. Then tomorrow at sunrise we drive. Myra gave a small smile. Thank you, Tamil. Truly. He looked at her, calm but determined. We'll get through this. Together. That night, while Myra rested inside the cage, Tamil stayed awake, checking fuel, food, and parts. His quiet life had changed overnight. But deep inside, he felt no fear, because now he had a reason to fight. The sun had not yet risen over Vera 9, but the sky was already turning light gray. Cold air touched the land. Tamil stood outside his workshop, checking the rover one last time. The engine was running well. He had packed food, water, and tools. A long road waited ahead. Inside the workshop, Myra was awake. She had slept in the signal cage, safe from being tracked. She stepped out slowly, her face calm but focused. Is it time? She asked. Tamil nodded. Yes, the cage is getting weak. We need to move before the scanner drones pick up your signal again. Myra looked around the quiet room. I didn't think I'd survive this long. You will, Tamil said simply. Let's go. They got into the rover. Tamil drove it down the dirt path, away from his home. They didn't use the main roads. He took the hidden paths between the fields, the old worker trails no one used anymore. As the rover moved, Myra pulled back her sleeve and looked at the mark on her arm. A small circle glowed softly beneath her skin. Tamil noticed it. That's the chip? He asked. Yes, she said. It's not just data storage, it's a quantum key. It can unlock files hidden deep inside the research servers. Without it, Rexus can't open the files I took. Tamil glanced at her. Can you open them? Myra nodded. Yes, but it's not easy. I need a secure link, not just any computer. The data is protected by layers. I only saw a small part before I escaped. What did you see? She looked out the window, then said, I saw test results about gravity tunnels, artificial wormholes. Rexus built small tunnels that could move ships instantly. But the tunnels weren't stable. If used too much, they could collapse space around them, even destroy nearby systems. Tamil's eyes widened. He wants to control space, even if it means destroying it? Yes, Myra said. He believes chaos brings power. If he controls the only working tunnels, everyone will beg him for access. Tamil shook his head. And no one knows this but you, Myra nodded. That's why I ran. I knew the truth. And that made me dangerous to him. They drove in silence. For a while, the road curved around hills and crossed a narrow bridge. In the distance, a patrol drone flew overhead. Tomil slowed the rover and parked under an old rock ledge. Waiting for it to pass, they stayed quiet, not even breathing loudly. The drone hovered, scanned the area, then moved on. Tomil started the rover again. "We have to be careful." "They're searching." Myra looked at him. "We're risking your life too." "You don't have to go this far." Tomil glanced at her. "You didn't run from Rexus just to hide. You came to stop him. That's something worth fighting for." Mira smiled. Faintly. She wasn't used to someone believing in her without asking for anything in return. After another hour, they stopped near a small cave. Tomil needed to check the engine. Mira stepped outside and looked up at the sky. It was full of stars now. Far away, the faint glow of ships in orbit flickered like moving stars. "Tomil," she said, "I think we should remove the chip." He looked at her, surprised. "Remove it? But won't that hurt you?" "It's small," Mira said. "And I placed it just under the skin. I can handle it. If I take it out, we can put it inside a shielded box. That will stop the signal completely. Will be harder to track." Tomil thought for a moment, then nodded. "Let's do it." He opened his toolkit. Mira sat down on a flat rock. She rolled up her sleeve again. Tomil cleaned the area and took out a small surgical tool. "I'll be careful," he said. "I trust you," Mira replied. He made a tiny cut. Mira winced but didn't cry out. Slowly, he pulled out a small round chip, no bigger than a coin. It glowed blue, pulsing softly. Tomil cleaned the chip and placed it inside a small lead box lined with shielded film. Once it was closed, the glow stopped. "It's safe now," he said. "We should be invisible to scanners for a while." Mira held a cloth to her arm. "Thank you." They rested for a few minutes. Mira leaned back against the rock wall, breathing slowly. The pain was small, but the memory of everything she had gone through felt heavy. Tomil sat beside her. "When we reach Dustside Station, do you think your pilot friend will help?" "She should," Mira said. "Rhea used to fly secret jobs for Rexus, but he betrayed her. She's been hiding ever since. If we find her, she can take us to the Human Core Council." Tomil nodded. "Then we'll go there. Let them see the truth." Myra looked at him. "Even if we make it, what if they don't believe me?" "They will," Tomil said. "With that chip, you have proof. And you have me. I'll speak for you if I have to." The sun began to rise again. They got back in the rover and continued toward Dustside Station. The road became rougher. Old signs showed broken arrows and half-covered paths. Finally, in the distance, they saw the tall towers of the station. It was built into the side of a rocky cliff, half hidden by dust storms. Old ships came and went. It was the kind of place where people ask no questions. Tomil parked the rover behind a row of old cargo tanks. "This is it," Mira said quietly. "From here, we either escape or get caught." Tomil looked at her and smiled. "Then let's make sure we escape." The air around Dustside Station was filled with sand and noise. Old ships roared as they landed and took off. Engines rumbled. People in heavy coats moved quickly between buildings, avoiding eye contact. This place was far from the clean streets of the central colonies. It was a hiding place, a meeting point for traders, smugglers, and people who didn't want to be found. Tomil and Mira stepped out of the rover, keeping their heads low. Mira wore a cap and a long coat. Her arm was still bandaged from the chip removal, but she hid it well. Tomil carried the small metal box that held the chip. It was sealed tight in his bag. "We must find Rhea," Mira said. "She used to park her ship near Bay 3 if she still flies." "Let's go." Tomil nodded. They walked quickly across the yard. Ships of all sizes sat in rows. Some looked broken. Others were fully armed. Dust blew between their feet. Bay 3 was at the edge of the station. There, under a large faded roof, stood a sleek gray ship with burn marks across the sides. It had a name painted in red near the wing. Ember. Mira stopped and smiled. That's her ship. She's here. They moved toward it. A tall figure with short dark hair stood near the ramp, checking a control pad. She wore a long brown coat and black gloves. When she looked up, her eyes narrowed. Mira, she said slowly. Is that really you? Mira took off her cap. Hello. Ria stepped forward and looked her over. You were supposed to be dead. Rex has sent a message saying you had an accident. I escaped, Myra said, and I need your help. Ria crossed her arms. You brought trouble with you? Yes, Mira answered, but also something important. I have proof of what Rexus is doing. Tomil stepped forward and opened his bag just enough to show the box. The data's inside here. We need to get off this planet fast. Ria looked at them both. Then she looked around the station. A patrol drone hovered far off, scanning slowly. You've got less time than you think, she said. Rexus has bounty hunters everywhere. One of them arrived this morning. Calls himself Varro. Cold eyes. Smiles too much. We need a jump. Mira said, Can you take us? Ria thought for a moment. Then she nodded. Yes, but my ship needs 5 minutes to warm the core. You wait inside. I'll prep for launch. They hurried up the ramp and entered the ship. The inside of Ember was old but strong. The walls were scratched, but the system still worked. Ria sat at the controls and flipped switches. Tomil sat beside Mira, who was silent now. Her hands were shaking slightly. What if we don't make it? She asked quietly. Tomil looked at her. Then we fight until the end, but I believe we will. Outside, a sharp whistle cut through the station's air. 3 men walked into Bay 3, led by a tall figure in a black coat. It was Varro. He had dark eyes, silver gloves, and a smile that didn't reach his face. His scanners were already out, reading the ship's ID. Inside Ember. Red lights blinked. We've been scanned, Ria said. They know we're here. Can we fly? Tomil asked. Engines are not ready yet, Ria said. We have 4 minutes left. Outside, Varro spoke into a wrist device. The ship's called Ember, owned by ex-partner Ria. She's hiding the girl. Block all exits. Tomil stood up. We can't let them board. I'll hold the door. Mira grabbed his arm. Don't go out there. He looked at her. If they get on this ship, it's over. But if I can buy you 4 minutes, you can escape. Mira's eyes were full of fear. Please be careful. I will, Tomil said. He grabbed a shock baton from the wall, an old tool, not made for fighting, but better than nothing. Then he ran down the ramp and stood in front of the ship. Varro saw him. You're not Ria. I'm with the girl, Tomil said boldly. Varro smiled coldly. Then you're in the way. He stepped forward, pulling out a stun blaster. His men moved to surround Tomil, but Tomil acted first. He threw a smoke charge onto the ground, blocking their view. Then he rushed at the nearest man and hit him. With the baton, sparks flew. Inside the smoke, chaos followed. Tomil dodged a shot and ducked behind a cargo crate. He was outnumbered, but he kept moving. His only goal was to waste time. Inside the ship, Ria powered up the engines. The whole floor began to shake. Mira stood by the ramp, watching the fight with wide eyes. 2 more minutes. Ria shouted. Tomil jumped over a box and rolled to the side as another blast hit near his feet. Varro cursed loudly. You'll regret. This boy. Tomil didn't answer. He just ran again, drawing them farther from the ship. Finally, Ria hit the last switch. Core is hot, we're ready, Mira shouted. Tomil, get back. He heard her voice and turned. He ran toward the ramp. Varro aimed and fired. The shot hit the ground beside Tomil, making him fall. His leg burned, but he pushed himself up and kept running. Mira ran down the ramp and grabbed his arm. Together, they jumped inside. Rhea closed the door just in time. "Hold on," she shouted. Ember lifted off the ground. The engines roared, blowing. Sand everywhere. Varro fired again, but it was too late. The ship blasted into the sky, climbing fast. Inside, Tomil lay on the floor, breathing hard. Mira knelt beside him. "You're hurt." "It's just a burn," he said. "Nothing serious." Rhea turned the ship toward open space. "We're clear for now." "But they'll chase us." Mira looked at Tomil. "You saved us." He smiled weakly. "I said we'd escape." She held his hand tightly. Above the planet, the stars opened wide. And far ahead, the Human Core Council waited. The stars stretched wide in front of them as the ship Ember raced through open space. Inside the ship, the lights were dim. The air smelled faintly of metal and fuel, and the sound of the engines hummed like a distant storm. The ship shook gently. With each boost of speed, Tomil sat in the medical chair, holding a cold pack to his leg. The burn from Varro's blaster was painful, but not serious. Mira sat beside him, quietly cleaning the edge of the wound. "You were lucky," she said. "A few inches higher," and Tomil smiled. "But it wasn't a few inches higher." Mira looked up at him. "Why did you run out there?" "You could have died." "I had to protect you," he said. "You carry something important." "If I didn't help you reach safety, what would be the point of fixing machines all my life?" Mira didn't speak for a moment. Her eyes looked tired, but thankful. Just then, Rhea entered the room, wiping her hands on a cloth. "We're clear of local scanners for now," she said, "but Rexus isn't far behind." "Do you think he's following us directly?" Mira asked. Rhea nodded. "Yes, he has private warships. Faster than Council patrols. If he guesses our route, he might reach the core before we do." Tomil looked at her. "How long to Earth Prime?" Rhea tapped on the control screen. 4 jumps. But after the second jump, we'll pass through a security gate. Once we're there, Rexus can't touch us without being seen. Then we need to survive 2 more jumps, Mira said. Tomil sat up straighter. "What happens if we send the data early? Can we contact the Council from here?" Mira shook her head. "No, the chip's data is locked. It can only be opened inside a core server vault. If we try now, it might self-delete. Then we go all the way," Tomil said. Later, Mira took out the lead box. She opened it slowly and took the chip in her hands. The blue light pulsed softly. Rhea looked at it. "That tiny thing caused all this?" Mira nodded. "This chip has enough proof to show what Rexus plans to do." She plugged it into a small tablet. A screen lit up, showing pages of encrypted text, energy readings, ship movement logs, and secret communications. It also had one more thing, a new plan. Tomil leaned forward. "What's that?" Mira read the file carefully. "He wants to collapse a natural wormhole near the planet Theron. It's a gate between human space and a small alien region. If it collapses, hundreds of families on Theron will be cut off. Or worse." Tomil looked shocked. "Why would he do that?" "To test his artificial tunnels," Mira said. "He wants to prove his system can replace nature's gates, even if it means destroying one." Rhea tightened her grip on the seat. "Theron has a science base and 2 colonies. If he does this, it'll be a disaster." Mira's voice turned sharp. "We can't just warn the Council. We need to stop him before he gets there." Rhea thought for a moment. "I know a shortcut, a risky one. An asteroid field known as the Black Shroud. No one travels through it anymore, but it could let us reach the second jump before Rexus." "Can Ember handle it?" Tomil asked. "She can," Rhea said. "But we'll need strong nerves." A few hours later, Ember reached the edge of the Black Shroud. Outside the window, dark floating rocks filled the screen. Giant spinning stones drifted slowly, some as big as ships. A mistake here would mean crashing into rock and being lost forever. "Everyone strap in," Rhea said. The ship moved forward. Carefully, the engines hummed low. Ember danced between the stones like a bird through a storm. Tomil watched the scanner screen. "No sign of Rexus yet." "Good," Mira said. "Let's stay ahead." Suddenly, a loud beep echoed through the ship. "Incoming object," Rhea shouted. A small drone had followed them, black, fast and silent. "It's a tracker," Rhea yelled. "It's sending our location." Tomil jumped to the turret panel. "I'll take it out." He aimed carefully and fired. A bright shot lit up the field and hit the drone. It exploded in sparks. "Nice shot," Mira said, but it was too late. Rhea stared at the screen. "Rexus knows where we are now. We must move faster." She pushed the ship forward. Ember weaved through the field, narrowly dodging rocks. The engines roared louder as the jump gate came into view. Tomil held his breath. "Almost there," Rhea whispered. The ship passed the last wave of rocks and reached the gate. Rhea tapped the jump controls. "Brace yourselves." A flash of light surrounded them, and the stars blurred. They jumped. Moments later, the ship came out of the jump. The screen cleared. Ahead was open space. Behind them, nothing. "We made it," Rhea said, breathing hard. Tomil looked at Myra. 2 jumps down. 2 more to go." But Mira didn't look relieved. She stared at the screen. "Look." On the far edge of the scanner was a small red dot. "Rexus's ship," she said. "He's still following." Tomil clenched his fists. "He doesn't give up." "No," Myra said. "He won't stop until he has the chip." "Or until I'm gone." Rhea looked over. "Then we don't give him either." They set course for the next gate. Ember flew forward, quiet but strong, a symbol of hope in the cold darkness. Inside, 3 people sat close, different paths, different pasts, but now united by purpose. And ahead, Earth Prime waited. The sky ahead of Ember was clear now. Stars shined like white dust scattered across black silk. But inside the ship, tension filled the air. Tomil, Mira, and Rhea knew the final jump was close, and so was Rexus. Rhea checked the fuel levels. "We're good for 1 more jump, then we'll reach Earth Prime. Once we get there, the Council will protect us." Tomil nodded, holding the small metal box that carried the chip. "And they'll see the truth." Mira looked out the window. "But we can't just let Rexus arrive right after us. If he reaches Earth Prime too, he might still spin lies, pay off officials, or worse, silence us before the truth is told." "We'll deal with him if we must," Tomil said calmly. Rhea's voice was steady. "I know someone at the Council. Commander named Loren. He respects facts. If we give him the chip fast enough, he'll act before Rexus can interfere." Mira opened the box and gently lifted the glowing chip. "This carries every file Rexus wanted to hide. Research logs, test results, and a secret video. A message I recorded before I ran. It tells everything." Tomil watched her hands. They no longer shook like before. She looked stronger now. Braver. Then the ship's alarm beeped. Rhea turned too. The screen. Jump gate ahead. Ember slowed near the swirling gate of light and gravity. It pulsed gently like a living thing. "Hold tight," Rhea said, and pressed the command. The jump hit fast. Light swallowed them. Everything blurred. Like the stars melted. Then it was over. Before them stood Earth Prime, floating in space like a blue jewel. Around it, defense satellites and patrol ships orbited in long circles. This was the heart of the Human Core Council, the place where the laws of space were made and enforced. Mira stared at it. "We made it." Tomil gave a quiet smile. "Now, the real fight begins." A voice crackled through the radio. "Unidentified ship, state your name and purpose." Rhea answered quickly. "This is Ember, captained by Rhea Solon. We request emergency landing. We carry urgent data for the Council. Priority level, red. There was a pause, then the voice returned. Request accepted. Follow green beacon, landing pad 12. Do not leave your ship until Council guards arrive. Rhea followed the green light blinking near the planet. As Ember entered the atmosphere, flames licked the ship's sides, but the shields held. They landed on a clean silver pad, surrounded by tall towers and strong security walls. 10 armed guards waited as the ramp opened. A tall man in a navy blue uniform stepped forward. His eyes were sharp. "Commander Laren," Rhea said. "I'm glad you're still on duty." Laren looked at her, then at Myra. "You're Myra Venn?" Myra nodded. "Yes, I have proof of Rexus's crimes." She handed him the chip. Laren took it carefully. "If this is true, you just changed the future of space travel." Tomil stepped forward. "Rexus is close. He may try to interfere." Liren turned to his men. "Take them to the secure hall. Load the data immediately. Inform the Council." Guards surrounded them, not as prisoners, but as protectors. Inside the white building, everything was clean and silent. Mira watched nervously as a technician connected the chip to a secure server. Files opened. Images, maps, and logs appeared on large screens. Scientists and officials gasped as they read. Laren stood still, watching the main video file. Myra's message. "This is Myra Venn. I worked under Rex's vow. I now risk my life to warn the Council. He is testing illegal wormholes. He plans to destroy a natural gate near Theron. Lives are at risk, and if he succeeds, he will control space." The video ended. The room fell silent. Laren turned slowly. "You were right. This isn't just a science crime. It's an act of war." Suddenly, a sharp alarm rang through the base. Red lights flashed. A voice on the intercom shouted, "Unauthorized ship entering prime airspace. Vessel ID, Rexus Vol." Mira froze. "He's here." Tomil clenched his fists. "He came anyway." Laren grabbed his communicator. "Activate defense shields. Do not allow that ship to land. Prepare interception." Rexus's ship appeared in the sky, dark and sharp like a predator. But Earth Prime was not Vera 9. It had protection. 2 fighter ships launched from hangars. Missiles locked. Rexus's voice came through public radio. "This is a mistake. I am a businessman. I came peacefully." Laren replied coldly. "We've seen your files, Rexus. The Council knows. You are ordered to surrender." For a moment, there was silence. Then Rexus's ship turned sharply, trying to escape. The fighter ships followed. A fast chase began in the sky above Earth Prime. Energy blasts lit the clouds. Back in the hall, the Council members arrived. They reviewed the evidence. All voted in favor of arresting Rexus and freezing his assets. Mira sat beside Tomil, finally breathing freely. "It's done. The truth is out." Tomil looked at her gently. "You did it." Rhea came in with a smile. "And guess what? They just broadcast your message to every colony." Myra's eyes widened. "Everyone will know?" "Yes," Rhea said. "No more secrets." Outside, Rexus's ship was hit. It spun, then slowed. The patrols forced it to land. He was taken into custody. No more power. No more lies. Inside the Council building, Laren returned. He said, "For your bravery and truth, the Council thanks you. You've saved many lives." She stood slowly. "Thank you, Commander." Tomil smiled. "So, what now?" Mira looked at him. Her eyes no longer held fear, only peace. "I want to go home. A real home. Maybe build a small lab. Teach others. Stay away from people like Rexus." Tomil nodded. "I know a quiet place on Vera 9. She smiled, and so the girl who once ran, barefoot in a torn dress, now stood tall. Her voice heard across the galaxy. And beside her was the man who had stopped to help, not for reward, but because it was right. Weeks had passed since Rexus Val was arrested. The council had frozen his companies, closed his labs, and blocked his access to any spaceport. His name, once feared across the systems, was now linked to lies and crimes. The story of Mira Venn had spread far and wide on news broadcasts, public forums, and across social networks. People saw her not just as a survivor, but as a symbol of courage. Her quiet voice had shaken the powerful, but Myra did not seek attention. She had already left Earth Prime with Tomil and Rhea, choosing a quiet life far from the tall buildings and busy space stations. They returned to Vera 9, the same planet where her escape had begun. This time she stepped onto its soil not as a runaway, but as someone free. Tomil guided her through the same dusty trail that led past his farm. "It's not much," he said, "but it's peaceful." She looked around. The sky was wide and golden. The hills were green. Birds flew slowly above the trees. "It's perfect," Mira said softly. Rhea had decided to stay for a while too. She helped build a small home next to Tommel's old cabin. They worked together planting crops, fixing machines, and installing a small lab inside Mira's new house. One morning, Mira stood on the porch holding a warm cup of tea. She watched the sun rise. Tomil stepped beside her. "Sleep well?" She nodded. "Better than I have in years." "Rhea's going to the market today," he said. "Want to come?" Mira shook her head gently. "I think I'll stay and finish wiring the lab. I want to start testing soil samples." Tomil smiled. "You never stop working, do you?" She looked at him. "I stop now, but I work for the right reasons." That afternoon, while Mira organized her tools, she found the small chip again, the one that had changed everything. She stared at it for a long moment before placing it inside a box labeled past. Later that evening, children from nearby homes came running to the field. They laughed and played while Tomil fixed a fence and Rhea set up a table of fruits and snacks. Myra joined them slowly. One little girl ran up to her. "Are you the lady from the screen?" the girl asked. Mira blinked. "You've seen that?" "My mom showed me," the girl said. "She said you were very brave," Mira smiled. "I was just scared, but I told the truth," the girl grinned. "I want to be brave too." "You already are," Mira said, and gave her a piece of fruit. That night, as stars returned to the sky, a small fire was lit. People gathered, talking and laughing. Someone played soft music from an old device. The night was warm and calm. Tomil sat beside Mira, holding a wooden bowl of soup. "You're part of the village now," he said. "I like it here," she replied. No machines humming, no orders shouted, just life. He looked at her quietly. "Do you miss space?" "Sometimes," she said, "but not the cold metal walls, not the fear. I only miss the stars." "They're still above us," Tomil said. "And if you ever want to visit them again, I'll come with you." She looked into his eyes. "Thank you." A gentle wind passed through the trees. Rhea came over, laughing with the villagers. She looked happier, her guard's uniform gone. She wore simple clothes now, like everyone else. "You two look like you've found peace," she said, sitting beside them. Mira nodded. "For the first time, yes." Rhea leaned back and looked at the stars. "Do you ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't run that day?" Mira thought for a moment. "I do, and I'm glad I did." "You ran barefoot," Tomil said, chuckling, "straight through thorns, mud, and stone." "I was desperate," Mira replied. "But someone stopped his truck. Someone helped." Tomil looked at her, his voice gentle. "And someone kept going, even when scared. You saved more lives than you'll ever know." Mira smiled and looked at the fire. Around her, laughter continued. Stories were shared, and the stars above twinkled gently. Suddenly, a small drone flew into the sky above them, blinking with a light blue signal. It carried a message from Earth Prime. Rhea caught it and read the message aloud. 2. Mera Ven, the council honors your actions. A learning center on Earth Prime has been named after you, the Mera Ven Academy for Truth and Science. You are welcome anytime. Mira's eyes widened. Tomil laughed. You've got a school named after you, Ria smirked. You're famous. Mira shook her head, smiling. I don't want fame, just peace. She placed the message gently beside her. Then she looked up. I will visit it one day, she said. To remind others, even one voice can matter. As the fire crackled and the stars danced, Mira closed her eyes. No longer the girl in a torn dress, no longer running, no longer afraid. She had found her place, her people, her new life, and beside her were the ones who believed not in money, not in power, but in truth, in courage, and in the quiet strength of doing what was right.